Welcome back to FOB YouTube channel, this time with a financial model, and today I will talk about the Ascount factor distribution model. Last time we were talking about models based on 3 variables, so of course the amount of variables is variable, and also what kind of variable you want to have. What you can see here is just a template. So this Ascount factor model is based on 4 categories, 4 up to 9 up to 9 categories, and even you can also take more. So okay, what it's basically about, you have your OGX income and IGIP income. What is the basics? So first we have here 8 LCs, so you also need to write down 8 down below here, otherwise it's not working. And you're first of all taxing income for OGX and IGIP from each LC. So what's calculated here is this. Here's the amount of OGX and the amount of IGIP. If one IGIP and one OGX is costs always the same, so most likely IGIP this will not be the case. So just renew this formula here. Oh, it looks nicer. Good. So write down the profit from past term in this sheet. Then the template will calculate the relative OGX part from this LC. So 20% of the profit was delivered by LC1, where LC1 should pay more. Good. For IGP the same. Then you have an Ascount factor. We will talk about this later. This Ascount and this Ascount factor will be part of the points. So it's kind of point based. So especially the flexible part. And yeah, before we talk about these parts here, we have a flexible part, and we have profit of projects taxed, and we have a minimum amount to pay. So for example, you have here 200,000 euros which need to be distributed among the LCs. Then you have taxation of projects with high profit. If you have specific projects from the LCs which are very profitable, you should tax that. For example, 15%. This needs to be legislated by the National Plenary. So 3,600 are taxed by the projects, and the minimum amount you can legislate this as well and distribute it equally among the LCs. And this is the rest. The rest needs to be distributed in the flexible model, which is this part here. It's point based. You calculate the points according to how much money they have the LCs have earned. So you have here OGX relative, IGP relative, these two summed up, multiplied by 100, and then you have the points. So the higher the number of points, the more the LC needs to pay. But now we have an Ascount factor, which is not only an Ascount factor, but can be also a discount factor. But I think normally it will be an Ascount factor, so that means that the amount of points will increase as soon as the Ascount factor is calculated in the points. So here, for example, we have a discount factor of 4%, therefore the points are decreasing. And in the end, you have here, okay, the total amount of points per central, and according to the percentage of the points, you distribute this flexible amount of money. So yeah, that's at the end, the distribution. Okay, what the hell is this Ascount factor or discount factor? It depends. Let's switch to this workbook here. The power of the Ascount factor is what kind of indicators or variables you want to use in your model. So it can be quite interesting indicators. For example, the amount of signups, the how high their conversion rate was, or something like that. Something you want to reward or to punish the LC. So you can even figure out, okay, I want to have an indicator which is a punishment indicator or a reward indicator, and these are the two possibilities here. So for example, here indicator 1 is a punishment indicator, but the relevance of this punishment indicator is just 6%. And here indicator 2, here's okay, the national plan says, okay, we want to have 41% relevance of this indicator, because this indicator is very important, or they want to reward it quite high. And yeah, you can weigh the relevance in points from 1 to 10, and then this is the relevance is calculated. So what you need to legislate each year is just the relevance of each point. Okay, now to the distribution, to the calculation of each indicator. For example, you have here point 1. Point 1 means, okay, it's a punishment indicator because it's plus. Okay, some parts are still in German. When you click up below the video, you will find everything in English. So for example, indicator 1 LC1 had 40,000 whatever this indicator is about. Then the template calculates the relative number and the weight points multiplied by 100, so a standardization in order to calculate it in the points. As you might remember, we were also standardizing these points here by 100. If it's a reward indicator, it's a -1, so it's just for the calculation. So if you have 1, then it changes entirely. Yeah, and then in the end, the Ascount factor is calculated. For example, here, right now we have real Ascount factor, so we have positive numbers. Before we had negative numbers, because indicator 2 was a reward indicator. Right now we have it's the rest. So if you are rewarded in the Ascount factor, you need to pay less. If you are punished, you get a higher Ascount factor. That means you need to pay more. Okay, so this might be good, this might be catastrophic, because you will discuss a lot during the legislative meeting. Yeah, what indicator is important, what is the relevance of each indicator, is it a punishment or is it a reward indicator? So you can discuss a lot. So if you like discussing and figuring out the best possible variables for your entity, then this is your model. If you want to make it more simple, then don't choose this model, because yeah, I mean, the calculation itself is easy, but the discussion about each variable will be quite hard. So in the end, you have also different kind of project categories. You can even set several separate tax rates per project category. Then the tax is calculated. If you would like to have a minimum amount the LCs need to pay, you can also make this, and in the end the LC payment gets calculated. So this model includes everything what you can imagine about distributing according to variables. And as I told you, if you want to discuss a lot, then this is your model. Otherwise, don't choose this model. Check out the other videos. There you will find models which are easier. Good. See you next video.